What's going on, guys? The TNT Muffin here. Today I'm going to be doing a tier list video. I actually did do tier list videos already, but they were over a year ago, and since then we have gotten a bunch more merch, as well as my opinions have probably changed, so I feel like it's probably time to redo them. If you enjoy these tier list videos, please leave a like. I'll probably do more of these in the future if this one performs decently. Next time I'll probably do the action figures. Today we are doing the plushies. So as you can see here, we've got the list S, A, B, C, D, and F tiers, and then we've got all the plushies here. I've organized them by wave/game. But I guess let's just start off. Fnaf One Foxy. I'm going to be putting him at A tier. There's not anything wrong with him, but there's also not anything special about him, really. Like, he does have the teeth, which is interesting, and he's got the eye patch, but nothing too crazy. Same with Fnaf Bonnie and Fnaf One Freddy. And then there's Chica, which does get a lot of hate for some reason. Like, it's not the best in the world looking plush, but it's not bad either. And I think I'll probably also put it at A. Maybe B. It could go B. You know, these plushies aren't too special, so they could all go to B, honestly. And then Golden Freddy and Shadow Freddy. Golden Freddy, it's pretty good. Shadow Freddy, it's just a recolor of Golden Freddy, but it's also, like, not accurate, really. Because in the games, you know, Shadow Freddy is, like, withered. He's not just Freddy, but colored purple. We'll see. Later on, I can move stuff around if I feel like it needs to change. So this is the FNAF 2 version of Funtime Foxy. I'm gonna put it at B tier as well. It's not the best in the world, not really anything special about it, and also it doesn't make that much sense, because, you know, later on we get Mangle and Funtime Foxy. We'll see my opinions of those in a bit, so this one is kind of strange. So now, Toy Bonnie, this one, I feel like gets a lot of hate that it shouldn't. I think it is a really good plush, honestly. I feel like it's pretty accurate. I don't really think there's anything that wrong with it. People give it a lot of hate. I like it, honestly. Although Toy Freddy, I don't think it's an A tier. I think it's either B or C. The color is not correct. It is pretty much just a recolor of Freddy. It's not bad, so I'm just gonna put it at B. Toy Chica, I think, is really good. I'm gonna put it at A tier. This is the first time they did, like, sewn-in eyes, which was interesting. I think it looks really good. They gave it also special feet, where it's, you know, like, actual chicken feet instead of just the little round things that they do with all plushies. Not sure why they specifically did that with Toy Chica and not any of the others, but it worked. It looks good. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move Foxy, Bonnie, and Freddy down to B tier. I'm going to move Shadow Freddy to C. Also, yes, I know that Shadow Freddy's rare, but this is mostly just based on if I think it's good or not. Also, I'm going to move Funtime Foxy down to C as well. Now, the Cupcake, again, this one I think goes into A tier. It's really good, not really anything wrong with it. They used, like, a different type of material for the little base of the Cupcake. I think it's a really good one. The only printed on color it has is on the candle. It's got some stuff. I almost want to move it to S, but I feel like it's not really anything too special. It is pretty special. I mean, it is a completely different shape, so maybe it is deserving of S, but it's not too crazy, so I'll keep it at A. Mangle, I'm going to put it down to C tier. I do like the plush, but it's not good. I mean, it's got lipstick, which is interesting. This is the first time they've had the sharp teeth, which is cool. They've got a shiny material on the arms, but it doesn't really capture the essence of Mangle. I mean, the body is just the same as the other bodies, just with some shiny bits, when, you know, Mangle should have 2 heads and also a crazy body, like an endoskeleton body with a bunch of limbs. So this is nothing like Mangle. I think it definitely deserves C tier. The puppet, this one I think is really good. I'm gonna put it to A tier. I've seen, you know, some people say they don't like the mask just because it's plastic. I think it's honestly cool. I like the mask. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The only thing I've heard people say is, like, you can give it bigger eyes, which I guess I agree with, but I think it looks really good. Balloon Boy, I am as well going to move to the A tier. I think the Balloon Boy plush is very good. You know, it's got the skinny body, which not a lot of people are a fan of, but I think it looks good. It does have a bit of printing, but overall, I think the plush, like, looks really good and accurate to Balloon Boy. So I feel like there's no reason to really move it down. You know, maybe I will move these dudes back up to A, actually. Springtrap, another A tier. I think Springtrap is a really good plushie. It has, from what I can tell, no printed on color. It's got wires coming out of it. It's got, like, sewn in withering and stuff. It's got like an interesting form of teeth. I think it's a really good plushie. Phantom Foxy, you know, it's going down to C tier. Phantom Foxy is not a good plushie. It's just Foxy, but covered in a shiny, like, brown and green material, when Phantom Foxy should be Withered Foxy recolored. So, not only is this just a recolor, but it also isn't accurate, similar to Shadow Freddy. Phantom BB, this one I do really like, but it is just a recolor of the BB plush. I do really like it. I like the colors they use, but since it is just a recolor, I'm gonna keep it in B. Now, onto the Nightmares. Nightmare Bonnie, it is pretty good, but it's not that accurate to Nightmare Bonnie in game. You know, the white eyes are a bit weird to have. It shouldn't have that. The withering on the body's a little strange. He is withering completely different from the other Nightmares, which is interesting. He also is purple when he should be more of a blue color. It's not bad. I do like the plush, but it's not, like, perfect. So I'm just gonna put it at B. It's not bad. Same with Nightmare Foxy. This guy does have a different form of withering than Nightmare Bonnie. He's got more withering on him. For some reason, he's got an eye patch, which he shouldn't have. His eyes I don't like as much either. Like, I did like that Nightmare Bonnie had the white in the middle. This guy doesn't have that. He's got black, like, pupils, which is strange. It's not bad. I put it at B tier. And also the same with Nightmare Freddy. Pretty much just the same stuff. Again, the pupils are different. These guys all have different pupils. Nightmare Cupcake, I'm actually going to give it our first S tier. I was considering putting the regular Cupcake in S tier. This is basically a better version of it. He's got withering on him. He's got the teeth, which is different than all the other plushies' teeth, which I think looks really good. I don't think he has any printed on color on him. Ballora, it's not good. I'm putting it to C tier. Like, all of the detail is printed on color. It doesn't look that good. They were gonna have a prototype version that looked better. I don't know why they changed it. It's not good. Baby, on the other hand, I do like. Baby doesn't really have anything wrong with it. It does have printed on color, but overall, I think it is a good plush. People aren't a big fan of the skinny bodies. I still think it looks good on it. Maybe it would have worked better to have one of the big ones, but whatever. Funtime Freddy, he's a bit wacky. I'm gonna put him at B tier. Like, he's not bad in some senses. He's got a lot of printed on color, which is strange because that stuff doesn't need to be printed on. His eyes are crazy. I don't know why he's got square eyes. You know, his Bonbon isn't that bad. It is cool that they gave him Bonbon, so that's nice. But, you know, he's not the best in the world. Funtime Foxy, I am going to put at A tier. Again, it does have a pretty big amount of printed on color, but whatever. The speaker on Funtime Foxy weirdly looks a lot better than Funtime Freddy's does. You know, there's not much wrong with it. I think it's good, putting it at A tier. Ennard as well. Ennard gets a lot of hate. You know, he does, again, have the skinny body. His little wiring on him doesn't look the best in the world, but they tried. I mean, they used that material that they used for the Cupcake, where it's, like, got ridges in it, and they did do some other stuff with the wires, which is, like, sewn in instead of printed on, which is nice. The head's a little wacky. Like, he's got a little bit of a snout, which is strange, but Ennard does technically have that. The only thing I'm not a big fan of on Ennard is that his head is completely white, when it should just be, like, a little mask on the front. But whatever, I like it. Exotic Butters is another one I think I might put in S tier. It's completely different from every other plush. It's a basket full of little butters, which are velcroed in, which is really cool. I don't know if any other plushies have that feature where there's velcro, you can take stuff out. I think it's a good one. I think it's a really good plushie. The only thing is, like, the basket is printed on stuff, but whatever. It's really cool. Bonnet's pretty good. Putting it at A tier as well. Not really anything wrong with it. Lolbit's also gonna go to A tier. Unlike the Lolbit action figure, this thing has no eyebrows, and there's not anything inaccurate about it either. Pretty much just a recolor of Funtime Foxy, but they actually did change some stuff, you know, changing the eyes, taking away the eyebrows, so I think it deserves to be an A. Twisted Foxy, I'm gonna put all the twisted ones down to B tier. They're not good. Except Twisted Chica is gonna go to C tier, actually. They're not that good. They've all just got a bunch of printed on color. Like, all of the detailing pretty much is printed on. Not the best in the world. They're also the Twisted Ones characters. I don't know why they made those. And then Twisted Chica, it just looks really bad. I don't know why they chose that style of eyes. It's not anything like the other plushies in this Twisted Ones wave, so it's really strange. Twisted Wolf, though, is actually going to go to A tier. I think Twisted Wolf looks really good. It's interesting they have that slit down it. Should technically be diagonal, but I don't really care. It's got little pieces on it. It's got fur. This is, like, I believe the first fuzzy plush with fur on it. It's got different type of ears. The eyes are different. It's got a different nose. It's got, like, all the Twisted Ones characters do have this type of teeth, which I think is really cool. The only thing that's really special about them. I think Twisted Wolf is just good. Although not the best one in the Twisted Ones wave, I think Theodore is better going up into S tier. This might be my favorite FNAF plush. Whenever I do those concepts, I always take stuff from Theodore just because it's so good. It has no printed on color from what I can tell. The withering all looks really good. It's got one flopping down ear. It's got different ears than the other Bonnie plushies, which look really good. Same with the face shape. The body and the arms are a different shape a little bit. It's got a wire coming out of it. The eyes are good. It's got that mouth with little teeth in it. I think it's one of the best plushies, maybe even the best one. And then we go into Stanley, which is just awful. All of the black lights are completely recolors that don't need to exist, so each one of them is going down to D tier. Now on to Pizza Sim, which might be the best wave of FNAF plushies, honestly. Or one of them. Maybe not the best, but one of the best, in my opinion, because they're all really good. El Chip, A tier. Orville, A tier. Pig Patch, A tier. Mr. Hippo, A tier. Happy Frog, A tier. Rockstar Foxy, A tier. Rockstar Freddy, A tier. And Lefty, A tier. Also Helpy, A tier. All of them are going to A tier. They're all really good. Like, some of them have printed on color in some places, but aside from that, they're really good. There's not anything wrong with them. They're all really accurate to the games, which I'm thankful for because I really like Pizza Sim. One of my favorite FNAF games. Probably third, I think. Not technically in the Pizza Sim wave, but we've got the security puppet, which I think is going to go to A tier. The plush, I don't like that much. Honestly, normally I would have put it to B tier, but because it's coming out of the box, I'll put it to A. It's got a bunch of printed on color. They did the same, like, puppet mask, except they made it out of, like, a worse material. The hat you can't even see from the front because it's just in the back and very small. But it's still cool. I like that it's coming out of the box, so for that I'll move it up to A. And then there's Candy Cadet, which is pretty awful. I'll put it to C tier. No, it's C tier. I would say I'm going to put it to B because it's, you know, like 3 segments, kind of unique. But it's completely printed on color. None of it, not a single part of it is sewn in stuff. All of it's printed on. And it's that gross shiny material. And it just doesn't look good. You know, if you like it, whatever, but they could have done so much better with it if they tried. Now we're on to the security breach characters, which I think, honestly, all deserve to go to B tier. They're not the worst in the world, but they're not good. Not a single one of them is good. They're all pretty mid. And on release, they were made out of a bad material. Later, they changed that, which is nice. I'm glad they did that, made them out of a regular material. But they're still not good. I say they're on par with the Twisted Ones wave. Freddy Frostbear, going up into A tier for sure. It's just a solid plush, not anything special to say about it though. So now we move on to the Spring Colorway plushies, which Funko could have honestly made these not that bad by choosing different colors and different characters. But for whatever reason, they decided to just make them all exactly the same as the black lights. As they line up here below them, you can see that they're just doled out versions of the black lights for some reason, and it makes them really bad in my opinion. They could have done way better. Chocolate Bonnie, pretty similar to Frostbear, pretty solid plush, you know? It's actually got some unique things though here. It's got a bite in its ear, which is cool. The bow tie is a little different than usual. I think it's a pretty good one. Chocolate Freddy, my bad, his name's Candy Freddy, not Chocolate Freddy. It doesn't really make sense to exist, but it's not bad. I'll put it to A tier. Well, no, I'll put it to B. There's not anything special about it, and pretty much all the detailing is printed on. Spring Bonnie, I'm gonna put it to A tier. This is like when they created the new base Bonnie mold that they've been using for a lot of things, and it's really good, honestly, you know? I like the ears they use. I like the overall, I mean, it's good, you know? Dreadbear is gonna go to A tier, probably the best plush out of the Dreadbear wave. I really like the withering they used on him. He's not really got any printed on color on him. I think his leg might have some that doesn't really make sense, but he's got the bolts coming out. He's pretty good. He's also got some little stitches in his ears. And then they could have done better with his little unibrow, but I think it's good. Now we've got Jacko Bonnie, Jacko Chica, and Grim Foxy, which are just gonna go with the Twisted Ones, because that's basically what they are. And then Captain Foxy, I'm gonna move to A tier, I think. He does have a hook, I think the hook is unique. He's got a cool hat, and he's pretty accurate. Okay, you know how I feel about recolors, so we're just gonna move all these security breach black lights down to the D tier. Now we move on to the special delivery plushies, which are made out of a strange material, but they're pretty good, honestly. Like Radioactive Foxy, System Error Toy Bonnie, VR Toy Freddy, and Livewire Toy Freddy. All pretty good plushies. I kind of want to move Livewire down to B tier, because the VR Toy Freddy, he does have that VR headset on, which makes him a little bit better, but Livewire doesn't, so I'm going to move him to B. Well, I might move the High Score Toy Chica down to B as well. It's not good. Maybe I'll move them down to B tier. Maybe System Error Toy Bonnie can go to B as well. Shamrock Freddy, he is just a Freddy recolor, but not anything special about him. He's not the best in the world. I'll put him at B. Liberty Chica as well. She's got some unique stuff, like the body. She's holding a book and a cupcake. Two things. But it's not very good. All the detailings on the body is just printed on, so I'll have it at B. Now, again, we've just got a bunch of recolors of the same things, which will all go down to D tier, as you would expect. Now we've got the Fanverse plushies. Candy, I'm gonna move him to A tier. I think the Candy plush is very good. Nothing wrong with him at all. Same with Popgo's, actually. Like he's got a slight bit of printed on color, I believe, around his eyes. That's it, and he's got a super cool vest. I almost want to put it at S, but I don't know. I think it can stay at A. And then there's Blake, which will go at B tier. And then the tie-dyes, which are all recolors, but they're honestly not bad. And they're not really recolors either. They do kind of change the plushies a bit. So I'm gonna put them at C tier. And then the final plush, or at least the final regular plush on this list, which is the tie-dye Springtrap. I don't know, something about him I like the tie-dye Springtrap. He's not tie-dye really. He's kind of just like a different version of Springtrap. He's a bright green. Instead of having like the tie-dye patterns, his withering has changed. I like him. I'm putting this guy to B tier. Not A. Definitely not A. Now, this list also has all of the jumbos. I feel like, if we're going by this list, all of the jumbos would probably just go in the same positions as I put the regular versions. So Freddy and Foxy would be going to A. Funtime Foxy would go to C. Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Freddy, and Nightmare Foxy would go to B tier. The black lights would go to D tier. All of the black lights, except Medium Helpy. This guy goes to S for sure. This, along with Theodore, probably tied for my favorite plushies of all time. Medium Helpy is so perfect. I don't know. Like, them making him medium-sized made him look so much more like Helpy. Really good. Fire. Good job, Funko. And then, Rockstar Freddy and Lefty would be going up to the A tier. Vanny would also go to the A tier. They, weirdly, similarly to Helpy, made the Jumbo Vanny better than the regular Vanny. Honestly deserving of A tier. And then the spring colorways, these ones I will put down to F. These dudes, I don't know why they're here. C seems right. That looks good. So this is my finished list of all of the Five Nights at Freddy's Funko plushies, including the Jumbos and, for some reason, these animatronic guys. I think it makes sense, It took me a while to figure out how I was going to format this, as you can see at the beginning of the video. But I feel like this makes sense, right? I do have some opinions that people might view as outrageous, which shows the title of the video. But that is the end of the list. I will put it in the description if you want to make your own. I will be doing more of these if this video performs decently with like the action figures and stuff like that. But that is the end of the video, so if you want to subscribe, click the button on top of my head. If you want to watch some other videos I made, I guess when I do that action figure one, if I do, I'll put it there. And if you want to see some other video I made, you can click that button over there. And I'll see you if I do that action figure one.